Greetings and salutations, my fellow geeks, and welcome to a very special episode of the Okie Geek podcast. I'm Michael Cross, along with my son, Aidyn, and and we have just watched Rogue One, a Star Wars story. We watched it Friday night. That was my second time to watch it, and your first time to watch it. We watched it.
You always watch a movie without me first, and then you go to come see it with me the second time, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth.
Sometimes. We've actually seen a few movies by ourselves. Now, so we saw it in the IMAX 3D. First off, for all you listeners out there, this is going to be a spoilery episode. We're going to talk spoilers, so if you have not seen it yet and you want to and you don't want to be spoiled, turn this off right now, go watch it, come back, we'll wait. Then we're going to talk about the different parts. If you haven't seen it and you don't care to be spoiled, hey, just keep on listening, because we're really going to talk about what we saw and what we really kind of thought of Rogue One. So first off, we saw it in the IMAX 3D. Aidyn, what did you think of it in that format?
It was amazing. That's basically
That's right.
I can't think of anything else to say. It was awesome, amazing, crazy amazing.
Yeah, the special effects really hold true to that 3D effect.
Yep.
Yeah, and even the trailers. I think we saw the trailer of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I am Groot.
I was amazed about how good that looks in the IMAX 3D. Of course, it's kind of expensive. That's why we go to the cheaper ones. So
It's been a while since I've seen a movie in 3D, or even have I even seen a movie in IMAX? I don't get what's the difference between IMAX and 3D.
Well, I think the IMAX it's a bigger screen. Mm-hmm. And, of course, in the seating that we had at Quail Spring Mall, there was very little problems in seeing the entire screen. Mm-hmm. So you could see all of it. And I think that was the whole point. It's a bigger screen and, of course, in 3D.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
So the movie opens up. There's no crawl. We had talked about this before. Were you surprised by that?
No, not really. There's nothing. I mean, you could say the Jedi have fallen or something like that. All about that stuff, but everybody already knows that.
It was stuff we already knew, and since they were going to be setting it up, they really took their time in setting up all these different characters. It was a lot of fun to see it in that format, or that style of, instead of having a crawl, they basically set the entire movie up in the first 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
What did you think of the characters?
They all were different, very different.
Did you notice that there were some scenes that were in the trailer that didn't end up in the movie?
No, I did not notice that.
Well, they're in the trailers. There's that moment where she talks about, oh, you've done all these things. And she says, I'm a rebel. I rebel. That's in the trailer, but it didn't ever actually show up in the movie. Were you surprised by that?
Actually, sort of, yes.
So,
But I get it. They had to cut time and all that stuff. They can't have that much stuff inside of a movie, or else people are just gonna be bored.
Yeah.
Bored.
Were you bored at any point during the movie?
No, not really. I was just
Glued to it.
my eyes were just glued to it.
Did you have a favorite part?
Let me think about that. No, not really.
Did you have a favorite character?
I gotta go with the robot.
K2. K2SO, played by Alan Tudyk. I don't know if you've known of anything with Alan Tudyk, and he is in Serenity and Firefly, but I don't think you're too young to remember that show.
I've heard of Firefly, but not much.
So what did you like about K2?
He was hilarious, and it was just hilarious, basically.
What did you think of Jen Erso, the main female character?
She was pretty cool. She can go well with the blaster.
Yeah,
Pew 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 pew.
Well, and we've had now 2 Star Wars movies back to back about strong female characters, and
I'm actually very excited about that because I think that girls should be more in the spotlight. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, completely, yes. And do you now? Of course, we all had the theory. I just heard theory. I never thought it was true that Jen might be the mother of Rey.
That was your theory.
That was not mine. That was a whole bunch of people's theories because no one had seen the show yet. So obviously that's gone to heck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no way she's
there's no way.
Yeah. Okay, so Saw Gerrera. Do you remember that Saw Gerrera was in the Clone Wars television series?
I had no idea. It's been so long since I've seen Clone Wars. I just can't remember all the characters. Except for, like, the main characters like Ahsoka and Anakin and other people's.
Now, the during the show, and I didn't hear it the first time I heard it because I wasn't in as good as surround sound. But the second time, while we were on the base at Yavin 4, we heard all over the intercom a call for who?
Captain Syndulla.
General Syndulla,
sorry.
Right. Which is Hera in the Rebels characters. That's got to be pretty surprising.
And also, I've heard from Dad that there's a chopper on that base, and there's also when the ships are flying into the battle, that there's also a ghost.
Right.
So watch out for that.
Yeah, now I don't know if those are just ships, and ships, there's several different types of ships. Like if you saw a YT-3 1300, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the Millennium Falcon. But were you surprised by some of these characters that were dead? For example, Grand Moff Tarkin, the actor has actually died, but he reappeared in Rogue One.
I got nothing to say about that.
What did you think? I mean, because it was computer animated. So did you at any point think that was a computer animated character?
Nope, not at all. I thought that was actually like somebody playing as him.
Right.
I thought, oh well.
Well, and also Princess Leia at the end was also computer animated.
Yeah, I sort of noticed that.
I think I might have noticed it because I knew he wasn't real. So immediately I knew that'd have to be computer animated. I'm wondering if that's why. So you really didn't see it as computer animated at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Good. I was curious about how your feelings on that. Let's see. Well, obviously K2. Chirrut Imwe, the blind man who's in on the Force. What did you think about him?
He was amazing. He could use the Force to see where he is going. And he has a really cool staff that can turn into like some sort of gun thing.
Like a bow staff, yeah. Or like a shooter of some kind.
Yeah, pew pew.
Now, he was called the Guardians of the Whills. And I think the Guardians of the Whills has come up in Clone Wars as just another set of people that use the Force, though they're not Jedis. Mm-hmm. And his friend Baze Malbus. There's a story there. Would you like to hear that story?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that would make a great spinoff for the comics or even a television show.
Yeah, that would be great. You know what I mean?
I would certainly enjoy it. Bail Organa, the guy who plays Jimmy Smits, the guy who plays Bail Organa, he's the same guy who played him in the prequel trilogies.
I did not know that.
Okay. That's the same man. So he's aged, obviously, but only about 10 to 20 years, which has happened. What did you think of his part in this? Which Bail Organa, basically, Leia's dad. What did you think about him?
Nothing really.
Nothing. And what about Mon Mothma? That was the same. Apparently, she's the same actress who played Mon Mothma in little bit parts in the prequel.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she was good.
She was pretty cool. She obviously handled her group of rebels really well and all that stuff. So, yeah. That's all.
Okay, so going to the story. Tell us about what you remember from the story.
Okay, so I remember in the beginning, Jen starts out as a kid, and with her mother and father. I can't remember the father's name, and I don't think they
That's
ever.
That's Galen Urso.
Yeah, I don't think they ever explained the mother's name. I mean, they probably did, but I don't see it.
It's actually she did appear at Lyra Urso.
Okay.
And Lyra, the only reason we really kind of know, her name is mentioned a couple of times, but it's also mentioned in the book. There's a prequel book out there about Rogue One called Catalyst. And it talks about her being pregnant with Jen, a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, she didn't mention much time. But anyways, go on with your story.
So as I was saying, so she starts out as a little kid. The Empire is coming to come get her father and apparently her and her mom. And the leader of that little group that happened was Director Orson Krennic. That's a very weird name.
Yes.
And so they come get them, but Jen runs away or something. I don't know. Her mother gets killed. Her father is forced to come work for the Empire for the super weapon, as you know, all know as the Death Star. And so she hides in a little tiny metal rock that can open up.
Yeah.
For, I don't know, maybe a couple days.
Probably it was, yeah. Her light was going out, so she was having trouble even keeping light going.
And then
Saw
Gerrera showed up and basically took her. We don't know anything about that, though. Much.
Well, we do know that Saw Gerrera and the Ursos had worked together before. There was a moment when we see him on a vid screen that Lyra was talking to him. Mm-hmm. So we don't know anything about, but that he does show up. Mm-hmm. A young Forrest Whitaker looks over the edge and says, come with me. The other thing that was missing, I've noticed it's in the trailers, is when Saw Gerrera says, if they catch you, what will you become? Which, of course, was taken out of the movie as well.
And also, I believe that little tiny scene, was that taken out?
Which one? The one
where she's with the stormtrooper, I mean, the weird armor and is standing like that pose.
Yes, that was taken out as well. She did dress
up in that armor, but she didn't make that pose, basically.
Right, we don't see that moment, which was obviously put on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. I mean, there was no point for it. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
we're all grown up. We start meeting all these different characters. I think the first real big battle was on Jeddah City, where the tank moves in.
Oh yeah, that battle was crazy. I mean, it was like there were like stormtroopers. There were, I don't know what they were, like bandit rebels. I don't know. And then you have the two characters running around, actually three characters if you count the robot.
Right.
Running around shooting bandits and the stormtroopers and all that stuff, trying to protect themselves. Also, oh wait, I think my favorite part is when the droid throws the grenade backwards and it explodes all those stormtroopers. Or maybe the part where she accidentally shoots an Imperial droid, which is not the robot. So.
And he comes in and he says, "Did you know that wasn't me?" So we all get together, we all team up, we all find out about the Death Star.
Yeah.
And because we've already talked to Saw Gerrera, what did you think about the explosion of the first time we see the Death Star work on Jeddah City?
I was saying, wow, that's crazy. I mean, did we ever see in the fourth movie or fifth, did we ever see we saw the Death Star hit a planet, but did we ever see like a screen where there's somebody on the planet and it's exploding?
No, and that's why it seems so much more real in this than it ever did in any of the original trilogies. Mm-hmm. It just killed a whole bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it did in 4. Let me see. I don't know what planet it blew up in 5. I don't know if.
It didn't. It was gone because we blew it up at the end of 4.
I mean, it was halfway, but
In 6.
in 6.
Right, and all it did then was blow up other ships.
Oh, okay.
So then we decide we've got to go stop this thing. They get to the planet that where all the information is.
The plans.
Yeah. What I want to talk to you about the sacrifices that they all made. What were your thoughts when people started dying?
Oh, I was just crying. Yeah, I didn't have any thoughts except for crying, basically.
Yeah, it was really sad. Do you understand why the story was written that way?
No, I don't understand.
The whole point is that they made sacrifices, that they sacrificed themselves for something greater than themselves, which is, of course, the rebellion, the alliance. And you notice that each one of them makes a sacrifice right before they die. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
The Chirrut, the blind man, manages to open up the communication right before he dies. The pilot,
Sacrifices himself to do
Bodhi sacrificed himself as well.
Yeah, to like plug a thing in. I forgot what that was.
Well, it was basically to open a line up
Oh.
and tell him that it was there.
Yeah. The robot made a sacrifice to save Jin, and I forgot his name.
Captain Andor. Cassian.
Cassian.
What did you think about that scene?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to realize, because I think he was one of the first main characters that was that you realize this is very, people are going to start dying.
Yep.
At the very end, Jen and Captain Andor are on the beach
Yeah.
with the explosion happening. What were your thoughts as that was happening?
I was like, this is it. They're dead.
And then finally we see really the beginning of episode 4 at the end of Rogue One. Were you surprised by that?
I don't, no, not really. I mean, yes, no, I don't know.
Overall, what did you think of this movie?
It was amazing. One of the best Star Wars movies I've ever seen. Saddest Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, all Star Wars movies had almost at least 5 people dying, basically. But they were never the main characters. That's the thing. Well, except for probably
Obi-Wan or Han in Force Awakens.
Yeah. I was crying when I saw Han. I was actually like, okay, this is the saddest movie ever. But then I go to Rogue One and I'm like, this is the saddest Star Wars movie ever.
Do you think that made it better?
Yes, I think it did.
And did it make you realize how horrible the Empire is?
Yeah, basically. But you know what I'm wondering? What would have happened if the rebellion never began? Would the Death Star even be built?
Sure, it was being built back during the Clone Wars.
Really?
Yeah, I remember they had the plans at the beginning of at the end of episode 2.
Oh yeah, right.
So they were already building it. It's not about that, but if they had not gotten the plans, then Luke couldn't have destroyed. So that's how big that sacrifice was.
Mm-hmm.
Would you feel? How would you feel about someone younger than you going to see this movie? Do you think it'd be okay?
Someone younger than me, I don't know if they'd actually understand. Younger than me.
Yeah, by the way, he's 10. Just about to turn 11.
Okay, it sort of matters how they act. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, a kid could be crazy and all that stuff and not even care about it. A kid can be very sensitive and be crying, you know what I mean? So I don't know, no matter what kind of kid it is.
Do you think a person needs to be a Star Wars fan to see this movie?
No. Because basically, it just goes. It doesn't tell you anything about. I mean, you could go see 4 and it'd be like the same exact thing, seeing the same exact thing. And then you can go see 5, 6, and then it would all make sense. Basically.
This just makes the Star Wars universe a little bit bigger.
Uh-huh. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So, so overall, if you had to rank all of the Star Wars movies now, where would you put Rogue One?
I have to think about that because I haven't rated any of them.
No, you have. You've thought about them, right? So, you've got Force Awakens now.
I think 2 would be first. I mean, not first. I mean, like last.
Okay, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones, yeah. Then probably 1.
Okay, yeah.
3.
Phantom Menace.
3.
Okay.
4, 6, 5. Rogue One, and then Force Awakens.
There we go. So going down, you'd have the Force Awakens being number 1 so far, Rogue One, then Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars. I'd probably switch those two. I'm about in the same length. I'd probably switch those two. But yeah, and then 3. I'd probably put Phantom Menace last. But yeah, I know you and I both. You like Phantom Menace a little more. But that's I think you connect better with young Anakin than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you connect with that boy character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Do you want to go see it again?
Yes.
Good deal. And are you excited about the fact that now we're just 1 year away from episode 8?
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Anything else you can think of that you want to mention?
My grandma's mad at me and Dad for going to go see this movie without her.
Well, now you have to convince her to go see it. Go see it over the Christmas break.
I'm just going to tell her, if you don't like sad endings, don't go see it.
No, don't say that.
Okay.
You don't want to ruin it.
It has a happy ending.
No, don't say that either. Just say it's a great movie. Go see it.
Okay.
So you can catch us on SoundCloud and Stitcher and iTunes. You can find us on Twitter. We're now on YouTube, where I'll go ahead and put this as well. You can see us again. You can get our Gmail account. Otherwise, you can find me at KOSU Michael C. That's going to do it for our show. And along with Aidyn Cross, I'm Michael Cross, reminding you to keep calm and geek on.